Hey guys, it's Alexandra here. Welcome back to my channel. Again, it's been a long time in between uploads, and I was just sitting here. I'm at my parents' house. We're kind of waiting out this uncertain time. I'm working from home as a teacher, doing e-learning, and I figured that I use YouTube as a welcome distraction right now, watching a lot of reading vlogs and other content like that. I love watching people's TBRs that they're putting together for this time period. So I thought that I would go ahead and share my to be read pile with you guys. Now, I don't think that I will get to all of these in the next couple of months because work is still very much work. It's very time consuming. It might actually be even more time consuming because e-learning totally, like, we did a little bit of it, but doing full e-learning is a new adventure that is taking some time to adjust to, but I'm excited to try and figure it all out. But with that, I don't know if I'll get to all of these books, but I wanted to share them with you, maybe give you some inspiration, some peace of mind, and just have some fun and talk about some books here for a few minutes. So I have a few different categories. The first is actually nonfiction. I got into nonfiction around Christmas time when I listened to the audiobook Dead Wake by Erik Larson, and I just fell in love with his writing and immediately decided to pick up more of his books. So one of them that I'm currently reading right now is The Splendid and the Vile. This talks about Churchill's first year or two as Prime Minister of England during World War II. I have about 100 pages left of it, and I love this book. I've learned so much about England during the war, but you also get some perspective of what was going on in Germany and America, and it's just, this is a really great book. If you love learning about World War II and you're interested in Churchill, you're interested in learning about the advancements in aviation that took place during this time, the London Blitz, this would be a great book for you. It is a bit longer, but I really have flown through it pretty fast for me, especially since I don't read nonfiction very quickly at all. The next book is also by Erik Larson, and it's In the Garden of Beasts. This details the story of the first American ambassador to Hitler's Germany. It says that it starts in 1933 in Berlin with William E. Dodd as he becomes the first American ambassador to Hitler's Germany. I'm excited for this. I love learning about sort of that pre-World War II, World War II, post-World War II time frame, and I'm hopeful that this will be another great book by Erik Larson. And then my next book is Isaac's Storm by Erik Larson. This details the 1900 hurricane that swept through Galveston, Texas, and in particular one person, Isaac, who was a meteorologist in the area. So I'm excited for this. It's a little bit shorter, and I'm going to read it, and then I'm going to let my mom read it because she loves weather-related things. And then the next nonfiction book is The Zookeeper's Wife by Diane Ackerman. This, I watched the movie, loved the movie. It details a husband and wife duo who run the Warsaw Zoo during World War II and their efforts to help save as many of the Jewish people in their area as they can. I really enjoyed the movie, and I'm excited to finally have the chance to pick up the book. The next book I have is a historical fiction. It is the third book in the Alex and Eliza trilogy by Melissa de la Cruz. This is All for One. I read the first two books and I've loved them both. If you like Hamilton, if you like that time period in history, these are really fun. They're fun for adults. They're fun for younger people. It's historical fiction and romance. It doesn't get better than that. Now going into some of my more fantasy type books. I have The Dream Thieves, which is book 2 of the Raven Cycle by Maggie Stiefvater. This follows Blue and a cast of other young men as they uncover these secrets that have to do with the ley lines in their area. It's hard to explain. Other people do it better than me on BookTube, but I liked the first book and I'm intrigued to read the second one and just kind of see what it is about, because it follows a kind of different character. Like, he was in the main group, but now instead of being a side character, he's brought to the forefront. So I'm excited to see how all of that goes. And then for my series that I'd like to work on continuing, I have the Keeper of the Lost City series. So I have book 5, which is Lodestar, book 6, which is Nightfall, book 7, which is Flashback. Look how giant that is. And then book 8, which is Legacy. So these are all by Shannon Messenger. I actually was introduced to these books by Reagan from Peruse Project, and she just talked so highly of them that I figured I'd give it a try, and I read the first book and I just immediately fell in love. So this story follows a young girl named Sophie who actually finds out in the first book that she is an elf, and she is whisked away into this new life, and she has to deal with all of the challenges that come her way with leaving what she knew for so long and trying to figure out who she really is. I like this series because it's fun, it's adventurous, but it also tackles things like grief and loss and friendship and family and so many other different topics with grace and ease that are welcoming, and you can take it in and you can process it. And even as an adult, I think it does a great job of reminding me that those are factors in everybody's life all the time and that we don't all react the same. And I think this is a great series for adults to pick up for that reminder, but also for young people to pick up so that they learn that these are all things that everybody goes through and we all look at them and view them in our own unique way. So if you like fantasy, if you like things that feel substantial but fun at the same time, this would be a great series to pick up. And then I do have a couple cozy mysteries. They're all by Ellie Alexander. 2 of them are from her Bake Shop mystery series. I have Till Death Do Us Tart and another one, Bites the Crust. I just want to keep kind of going on in this series. And then I have the second in her Sloane Krause mystery series, The Pint of No Return. And last but not least, I recently signed up for Book of the Month. Again, I watch a lot of different BookTube channels that speak about Book of the Month, but in particular, I've watched Peruse Project tout them month in and month out, and it just seems like a really great subscription service that I would enjoy, and I finally decided to take the plunge and try it out for myself. So I got my first box this month in March. And the book that I picked from the list was The 2 Lives of Lydia Bird, and I've actually already read this and I loved it. I think that this, again, is a touching story. It deals with our main character, Lydia, whose the love of her life, Freddie, passes away, and now she has to deal with grief and loss and understanding how to make a life of her own now that the person who'd always been by her side is no longer there. And in the midst of this, she finds a way that she can basically live a double life and see Freddie in that second life while also trying to balance what's going on in her, so to speak, real life. And the way that that is talked about and handled, I think, is very unique and clever and to the point, and I really enjoyed this book. It ends in such a fun and just, I don't know, just gripping way. And yes, it's sad, but I think the underlying messages that you get from this are the kind of messages that we need in this kind of uncertain time. And I did add on to my box another Erik Larson book. So I got this lovely hardcover for $9.99, and it's The Devil in the White City. This is a book that talks about the World's Fair in Chicago. So basically it doubles 2 timelines. What's going on at the World's Fair, and then also what was happening with a murderer that was running rampant in Chicago at the time of the World's Fair. So I'm excited to pick this up and just see how it goes. Obviously, I'm just falling head over heels for Erik Larson as an author. And if you're somebody who doesn't really like nonfiction, but you'd like to give it another shot, or maybe you think you could like it, but you haven't found the right author, I suggest picking up something from Erik Larson because it's more of a narrative nonfiction, and it grips you and it keeps you. And yes, it's filled with all of that good facts and knowledge, but it feels more like just a regular old novel. Um, and I can't suggest him enough. So that is my TBR. I'm hoping to tackle these books sometime between now, the end of March, and June when the school year is done. We aren't headed back until at least May for face-to-face classes, so I've got a lot of time to kind of dedicate to reading when I'm not working on my classes for my kiddos. And this is kind of how I'm going to take care of my mental health over the next couple of months. This and obviously exercise. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you have a wonderful, safe, and healthy rest of your day. I hope to pop on here more often in the coming weeks and share with you my updates and how I'm feeling about some of these books. Let me know what you guys are reading because I'd love to know. I'd love to borrow them on Libby if I can. And just be safe, be healthy, take care of yourself and others, and just know that we're all gonna get through this, but we have to take it day by day and not get ahead of ourselves. Have a great night, guys. Bye.